Yeah, okay, I'm gonna try to record the session. Let's see what happens. Okay, guys, so as I was saying, basically, this is just the course calendar you see on your screens is just here to remind you of the most important things that we have, guys. And remember, I'm following the course calendar, guys. I expect you guys to also follow the course calendar if you don't mind, okay? Let me see if I can zoom in. Yes, I can zoom in, thankfully. And you can see that, guys, today is what? Today is the 26th of Feb. So yeah, we are over here. We are in week 3 at the moment, guys. Do you guys remember what we did last week? What did we talk about last week, guys? Any idea?
We spoke about first impressions.
Exactly, yep. We talked about first impressions. I asked you guys, do you remember? I don't know if you guys remember. I asked you guys what was your first impression of Mr. Farran. Most of you had some good things to say. Some of you had some weird things to say. I was also asking the girls last week as well. And yeah, I also got some very interesting answers. So we talked about first impressions. Remember, a first impression is the idea, thought, or feeling you get about a person when you meet them for the very first time, okay? So we talked about that last week, guys. Today is the 26th of Feb, so today we are here. We are in the 3rd week of teaching, guys. And today, inshallah, we will talk about something which is very interesting and very important. And I think it's something that we think about all the time, especially in the Arab world. You know, when it comes to food, taste, nutrition, health, and so on. I think it's very important. And if you think of the Arab culture, if you think of our culture in general, we tend to celebrate a lot using food. Think of every wedding. A wedding without food is not a wedding, you know. Think of when you go out with your friends. When you go out with your friends, you know, food has to be, like, you have to have dinner, you have to have lunch together. So, you know, food is like it plays a big part, like, in our culture. And yeah, I mean, even like when you get a divorce, I heard the story of a guy who had a divorce and he had a huge celebration. He had like a huge feast to celebrate his divorce. Yeah, which I think was interesting. So we'll talk about taste and nutrition today, guys. But just to remind you, guys, don't forget, please, next week, inshallah. So next week we will go back to regular classes, like physical classes, I mean. So inshallah, next week we will have a listening quiz. It's going to be very easy, inshallah. You will listen to maybe an audio file, one file, and I will play it for you 2 times. And basically, you just have to answer some questions, okay? Most of the questions are going to be either multiple choice or true and false, or fill in the blanks, you know, things like that. So that's for next week, inshallah. And then the week after, week 5. So I think because you guys are Sunday, it'll be on the 11th of March, inshallah. You guys will have your very first presentation. Did you guys see the instructions I put on LMS for the first presentation? Do you guys know what you're doing?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you for confirming. Yeah, so guys, if you remember, I did talk about the first presentation last week. I also put the instructions on LMS. Your first presentation is basically, it's a 7-day challenge. It's a 7-day challenge, right? So think of something you want to do for the next 7 days. You understand? Think of something you've always wanted to do for the next 7 days. Maybe stopping a bad habit, maybe trying something new. You do it for the next 7 days, and then on the 11th of March, if you're registered with me on Sunday, on the 11th of March, inshallah, so not next week, the week after, you guys will come to class, and you guys will give us a short presentation, 2 to 3 minutes long, telling me exactly what you did, how you felt, and what did you learn from this entire experience. Okay, guys. Guys, remember, for the first presentation, please challenge yourself and try to do something which is challenging. I had one of the guys tell me, sir, my challenge is to watch movies and, you know, sit back and relax at home. I'm like, Habibi, this doesn't seem like a challenge, you know? Sitting at home and watching movies doesn't seem like a challenge. I want you to do something which is going to challenge your core. You understand? So, for example, if you don't like waking up early, try to wake up a bit early. If you sleep at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, maybe try to sleep at 12. So think of something you can do. If you don't like to exercise, maybe exercise. If you have an addiction, try to control that addiction. Whatever you have, try to do it for the next 7 days, and then when you come to class, you will present and you will tell us, for example, you know, what you did exactly, how you felt, and what did you learn from this entire experience. Okay? So that is for your first presentation. Yes, this is worth 10 marks. But remember, guys, next week we will have our first listening quiz. Again, it's easy. You will listen to a file. I'll make you listen to it 2 times, and then you guys can answer the questions on a piece of paper. Don't worry. Yep. After the first presentation, we have our second over here. By the way, our second presentation is just before the midterm exams. For our course, we don't really have a midterm exam, so just keep that in mind. Okay, we don't have a midterm exam for our specific course. Okay, guys. Okay, if we have no more questions about the course calendar, let me just go back and proceed over here. Okay, so for our second unit, guys, for our second unit, unit 2, I'll go over here. Yeah. For today, guys, inshallah, what I want to do is, I don't only want to talk myself. I want you guys to basically, I want you guys to also to take part. You know, I have a few questions related to, for example, the second unit. And what I want you guys to do is, I want you guys just to kind of think about the questions that I'm going to give you, and then I want you guys just to choose one question and then talk about it, okay? And by the way, I found this picture online, and I think this picture really summarizes how you guys feel when the teacher says, Yalla, I want you guys to participate, or I want you guys to talk. I'll show you over here. And Jad, this picture is just amazing. I can't believe how awesome this picture is, because it really captures the feelings and the thoughts of the students when the teacher starts asking the students, guys, please, who wants to speak, or who wants to participate? Okay, this is everybody in class. When I say, guys, who wants to start talking, who wants to start presenting, right? So what I'm gonna do is, guys, I have a list of, I think, 25 questions. Yeah. All I want you to do, guys, is I'm gonna ask each and every one of you, guys. This is good practice. Remember, this is good practice, inshallah, for the actual presentation. So what I want from you guys is just choose one question, okay, and then just try to give us like a short presentation. Just try to like discuss the question. Imagine that you are the teacher today. I'm not the teacher today. You guys are the teacher, right? All I want you to do, choose any of the questions you see on the screen, and then just talk about it for like maybe 1 minute. That's all I want, okay? All the questions are طبعا related to today's theme or today's unit, which is all about taste and nutrition, okay? Now, طبعا, if we were in class, I would have done this, like I would have put you guys in groups, but unfortunately we can't, I can't put you in groups at the moment because we're studying online. So you have 1 to 26 questions. Okay, number 17 has been left empty on purpose. Just if you want to include your own question, that's fine. So you can zoom in, by the way, if the on your screens, if you can't see the question carefully, just zoom in. Okay, guys. And all I want you guys today to practice your speech. I want you guys to imagine that you are teaching the class. You have 26 questions, and any question which you feel like is relevant to you, or any question which you actually like, choose it, and then just maybe like within 1 minute, just discuss it with us, please, if you don't mind. Okay, guys? So I'll give you some time. Look at the questions carefully from 1 to 26. They're all related to today's topic, which is all about taste and nutrition. Okay, so I will ask each and every student today just to maybe give us a short presentation, if you want, or like a short discussion about any of the topics you see over here. Okay, I'll give you like 1 minute to think, and then I'll choose somebody. Okay, or I want you guys to volunteer yourselves. Yeah, if anyone is ready, if anyone feels like they're ready, then please raise your hand, and I will choose you. Okay. Okay, Fatma, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, Muhammad, thank you for confirming. And yeah, so who wants to go first, guys? Anyone want to go first? Remember, guys, there's no point in me talking all the time. I want you guys to speak. This is a speaking class. Yeah, so yeah, I was talking for the past 2 weeks. Now I want someone, like I want volunteers. I want people to start talking so that they can, practice their English language. Anyone want to be the first dahiya? No one wants to be the first volunteer? I'll give you guys maybe a minute. Okay, yes, we have a volunteer. Yes, okay, great. DC. How are you?
By the way, I'm Sulaiman Shamari.
How are you?
I forgot to change my name on Google.
It's okay, Sulaiman, it's okay. How are you, Sulaiman? You okay?
I'm okay, thank you.
Okay, Sulaiman, so you have the...
My question is, why is it hard to go vegan?
Okay.
There's many aspects and stuff that would prevent someone from going vegan. No, not prevent them, make it hard for them. First is social aspect of it. When someone is most of the people around you will be eating meat and everything, for religious reasons or whatever. So it's hard for you, socially, to just become vegan, out of the blue like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then like there's like for convenience reasons also, which makes it also hard for you to go vegan, because meat is ready everywhere. Wherever you go, every market, everywhere you find cooked meat. It's very convenient to find meat.
Okay.
Also, there's also we have like let's say nutrition concerns. Like if you have some people, they don't understand the vegan diet, so they will be thinking like maybe this is bad for me. Is this healthy? Is this not? So it takes some time to research this before they actually can go vegan.
Interesting.
And also emotional attachment, for example, like someone I grew up eating like lamb meat most of the day, like for lunch most of the time, or chicken. So it's like I'm emotionally attached to this kind of food. So it's very hard for me to go vegan. Like if someone tells me, right now for me personally, if someone tells me like, why don't you order like plant-based food? This is like for me, like personally, I feel like this is poison. Like what the hell is plant-based food? Meat, sorry, like plant-based meat. It's like I feel like it's like something processed, like even more strangely than meat itself when it's processed in a plant or a factory.
I see.
Well, yeah, and finally we have like the cost of vegan food. Like it comes like now it comes in many forms. Like you have organic vegetables, organic fruits, organic. And this will like it's very costly to go vegan, by the way. Like here in Kuwait, especially. I don't know. And that's it.
Excellent, Suleiman. Wallah, mashallah. I love the ideas that you mentioned. Actually, everything Suleiman mentioned is actually so true. If you think about, I mean, I like how he split his ideas into segments. So he talks about the emotional aspect. He talks about the social aspect. He talks about the economic aspect. I like that. And I think everything Suleiman said actually makes sense. Suleiman, have you been vegan? Have you tried going vegan?
No, but one of my friends has gone vegan, and I'm always like debating with him.
I see, makes sense. Yeah, I mean, as Suleiman mentioned, guys, it's not easy. It's not, especially in Kuwait, especially like in the Arab world. As Suleiman mentioned, it's not easy, going vegan. Number one, I like how he actually organizes thoughts. So, guys, the next time you speak, try to organize your thoughts, just as Suleiman did, right? He talked about number one, the social aspect. Think about it. In Kuwait, I mean, when you go out, I mean, you see shawarma in your face everywhere. Let's be honest. You see steaks, you see advertisements for like meat, burgers, whatever, everywhere. How many ads do you see for vegan places? I mean, not that many. Yeah. Also, like again, think of like going to like a diwaniya. You go to like a friend's place. You go to a barbecue. When was the last time you were invited to some like vegan barbecue? So again, socially in this country, people eat meat. Like the main dish in Kuwait is like majboos and so on and so forth. So even culturally speaking, the main dishes that we eat in the Arab world they're all like meat based. They're all like heavy meat based, right? So from that aspect, a vegan might feel a bit secluded in Kuwait. Let's be honest. If you're a vegan in Kuwait, you might feel like you're not really welcome because you've got meat shoved in your face everywhere, right? He also talked about the emotional aspect, right? Some of us, or like most of us, growing up in the Middle East, if you were raised in Kuwait or raised somewhere in the Middle East, we are emotionally attached to our food, right? During celebrations, during Eid, for example, right? During certain events, we actually eat meat, right? Also economically, think of the price. Yes, as Suleiman mentioned. Yeah, let's be honest, guys. Vegan food isn't cheap. It's actually more expensive. Organic, vegan, that kind of stuff. If you're going to go purely vegan, you're going to see a rise in the cost of your groceries because things like the almond milk and the oat milk and the vegan milk and so on. Those things are not cheap. And also the processed meat. I mean, yes, we do have like vegan burgers and the Impossible burgers and things like that. Again, as Suleiman mentioned, these things might not be as healthy as you might imagine. There are actually documentaries, you can watch documentaries online that show that actually the vegan meat that they sell in the supermarkets is actually heavily processed. So there are a lot of chemicals that go into these meats or so-called vegan foods so that they can get the right texture, the right smell, because they want to resemble they want to make the burger resemble like a real burger. But by doing that, they heavily process this food, and some people are actually questioning how good is how healthy is vegan meat, for example. Is it good? Is it really that good? Is it worth the switch? And so on and so forth. Okay, we'll talk more about veganism, of course, as we proceed through the class. But yeah, I like the ideas that Suleiman mentioned, and I think Suleiman, you have a. I mean, like as I said, I like the way you organize your thoughts, and inshallah, when you do your own presentation, you will have no. Hopefully, you will have no issues giving a presentation.
Yes, hopefully, thank you.
Yeah, always welcome. Okay, yes, let's hear from Mishan. Mishan, go ahead. Which question did you like, Mishan? And please share your thoughts with us.
Hi, Dixon. How are you?
I'm good, Michelle. How are you?
I am fine. I will find the question.
You forgot that?
No. Yeah, it's 25.
20.
What is the hard part of the vegan diet?
Okay, go ahead, Michelle.
Yeah. Actually, I am in diet in 1 year. 16 February last year.
Really?
20. Yeah.
So you've been you've been on a diet for 1 year.
Yes.
Okay.
My diet. It's not actually diet. It's lifestyle now.
Excellent. Okay.
I change it. No, it's not hard. Actually, it's not hard. I am not love sugar, donuts or anything. I feel if I eat a lot, feel right. Now I can't. I can't fight this one.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can't. I can do my lifestyle 3, 4, 5 years. It's okay, fine. It's fine for me. It's hardest? No, it's not hard. Actually, it's not. It's very easy. Maybe it's hard for my friends, my family. It's eat all junk food all time. Actually, it's all time. Mac burger, steak.
Sounds like a song.
Cholesterol full. It's
Michelle, what about in the beginning, Michelle? Wasn't it hard for you in the beginning, for example, to switch?
I beginning in the keto diet. It's stupid move for me. It's really stupid. Keto, it's bad. It's very, very bad.
Why is it bad?
Actually, I don't fan for vegetable or fruit or vegetable. And diet, I swear I smell in maybe 1 mile. I need sugar. After that, I eat the vegetable and orange. I love it. It's only thing I have for this diet. The cholesterol in 1 year. Now it's up for because this diet. The what is name?
Keto diet?
Keto diet. Keto diet. It's eat all meat, all oil, meat, oil, all time.
So for the keto diet, Michelle, for the keto diet, what are you allowed to eat? What are you not allowed to eat for the keto diet?
The keto diet. Eat the meat, all junk food.
Okay.
Don't eat anything. Sugar, oats, and replace in your body sugar, like bread, anything like that.
So keto diet, you can eat protein, but don't eat sugar, don't eat carbs, right?
Eat meat and don't eat what the name? Vegetables, fruits, bread. Just all don't eat. Just meat.
And now, how do you feel? How do you feel now, Michelle? Like, do you feel like you're better? Like...
Yeah, sure, I feel better. Actually, when I finished the prayer in Salat al-Jum'at Friday.
Yeah.
On Friday, it's all. I walk like a zombie. I can't walk. Right, left, right, left. Now I am very fast.
Nice.
My sleeping. I am sleep between 12, 30 last. Now, no. Now 7. It's okay.
Wow.
It's okay time. Yeah.
There you go.
My clothes, everything.
Everything changed.
Life changed. Yeah, life change.
Nice.
Actually, I will show my picture.
Okay, yeah, why not? Next time we see you, Michelle, please. I'd love to show us like a before and after.
Yeah, I have a lot.
Oh wow, he has a lot of pictures. Okay, that's great. Is this all because of the keto diet, Michelle?
No, because the keto diet is just 1 month. I changed my life. And healthy foods and the gram.
I see.
I
Okay.
eat 4, maybe 5 meal in day.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Guys, thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much for that. Guys, I don't know if you heard what Michelle said, but he said something very interesting in the beginning. He said I started a diet, but now it's a lifestyle. So guys, what's important is not being on a diet. What's important is actually having a lifestyle. Can anyone tell me the difference? What's the difference between going on a diet and having a lifestyle?
Lifestyle is to adopt it in life and be a part of life.
Yeah, exactly. What's wrong with going on a diet, guys? Think about it. What's wrong with going on a diet?
It's more healthier.
Yeah, again, that's so true. What happens is on a diet, you go on a diet for like a month, but then after that month, you go back to your old lifestyle, right? If you can take a diet and turn it into a lifestyle, trust me, it will be so much better for you. It will be easier for you. Why don't people lose weight when they go on diets? It's because after the diet, everything goes back to normal. You understand? So the best thing to do, guys, is not to go on diets, but to actually have a certain lifestyle about your eating habits. You understand? Make it a lifestyle, because diets don't work. Every other woman I've ever met in my life is on a diet. My wife has been on a diet for the past 10 years. You understand? It just doesn't work. You have to have a lifestyle. You have to adopt a lifestyle if you really wish to see changes. Yeah? Let's hear from Fawaz. Fawaz, go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Fawaz, we can hear you.
I'm also talking about diet.
Okay.
I have the opposite problem of Mishal. I do like food. I'm a bigger guy. I've been on a diet multiple times. Every time I've lost weight, but as you said, it's not a lifestyle change. I go back and I gain the weight back.
Mm-hmm.
But recently, I've been getting older. I'm 35. So I really need that lifestyle change. But the problem is I need to be healthier, not want to be. So
Yeah.
But yeah, getting older, you get diabetes, higher blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So going on a diet is really important. But you need to find that place where you're not changing your life too much, but still being healthy. With diet and exercise.
So for you,
So,
do diets work for you?
They work. You lose weight, but you go back when you stop the diet. Well, as you were saying, lifestyle change is really important.
Mm-hmm. So you said you're a burger guy, right, Fawaz?
Sure, yeah.
Oh, can you make burgers healthy? Is it possible to have healthy burgers?
Is it possible? I guess I'm not really a good cook, but sure, yeah. Find recipes online.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
Healthier burgers.
Yeah, I think that's the secret for us, right? I mean, like we all like have an addiction. Some of us love burgers, some of us love pizza. If you love burgers, and generally speaking, taban, burgers are not really healthy. So why not try to find a way to enjoy the burgers that you actually love, but try to enjoy them in a healthy way.
Have the best of both worlds.
Exactly, have best of both worlds. Because let's be honest, if I tell you if I was no more burgers, you're like okay, inshallah, Mr. Farhan, while you're eating a burger, you understand?
Exactly.
Yeah. So maybe enjoy, and indulge in what you love. So Fawaz loves burgers. I can't tell Fawaz to stop having burgers. It's going to be impossible, right? So maybe indulge in what you like, but try to maybe have them in a healthier way. Maybe avoid the fries. Maybe avoid the Pepsi, for example. Like maybe have like a smaller portion. So there are ways around. There are ways to live your life, to enjoy your life, and also kind of have it a bit guilt-free, right?
Exactly. Some people have cheat days, for example.
Yeah.
But you really need to change your lifestyle for years, not just for a month.
Exactly. That's so true. Exactly. Because again, as Fawaz said, if you only change a couple of months, then what's going to happen for the rest of the year? So let's say I go on a diet, November, December. What happens for the rest of the year? What about the other months? I'm gonna gain the weight back. I'm gonna gain the weight back, right? So it's all about making small, sustainable lifestyle changes. Like for example, some people say.
Do it while you're younger.
Sorry, Fawaz?
Do it while you're younger.
Yeah.
Easier.
Fawaz is like, do it while you're younger. Exactly. By the way, Fawaz makes me feel old because he says like 35 is old. It's not old, man. You're still young. If you're under 50, you're still young.
For the rest of the students.
Yeah. For the rest of the students, exactly. That's actually a good point because, guys, as you get older in life, it becomes harder. It becomes harder for you to make changes.
Sir?
Yes.
Yeah, so sorry to interrupt you, by the way. There are also plant-based burgers that can, make it healthier as well.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean?
I've tried some stores, they're pretty good. Something.
Yeah. Also, they make it like, handmade as well, combining a few vegetables like beans, onions, rice, to create the patty in a healthier way. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah, good point, Ahmed. Exactly. Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, maybe if you've again, as Ahmed mentioned, maybe again, if you're like a burger addict like Fawaz, maybe you can find plant-based burgers or like healthier burgers where where you can still enjoy the burger and actually not gain all the fat or let's say all the calories that you get from like a regular burger. Maybe cut out the fries. Maybe instead of drinking Pepsi with the burger, maybe have fresh juice. You understand? So have a salad with the burger, right? Just to kind of feel a bit like so that you don't get all the guilt while enjoying a burger, right? So I think there are things you can do. Some people actually even say have like a smaller plate. I don't know if you know this. It's like a cheat or like a life hack. If you have a big plate, usually you're tempted to fill the whole plate with food. But if you get a smaller plate, you somehow trick your mind into feeling that my plate is full. Like I have a full plate of food, and you trick your brain into thinking that you had like a huge portion, whereas in reality you're just only making the plate a bit smaller. So there are many things you guys can do to actually help you guys have like a healthier lifestyle, right? Remember, diets are good, but they don't really last that long. Try to think of making small changes to your lifestyle, and trust me, eventually they will stick. As I think Ahmed mentioned, or I think it was was Ahmed? I think it was Ahmed. Yeah, someone mentioned that it's not a diet. It started off as a diet, but now it's actually a lifestyle. For example, I've cut Pepsi from my diet. Like I don't drink Pepsi. I don't drink fizzy drinks. I love drinking Halib KDD. I know it sounds a bit strange. Halib KDD. I love chocolate milk from KDD. I love fresh juice. I love Lebanon, for example, and that's it. I just don't do it anymore, right? I just don't drink Pepsi anymore, right? Even smoking. Some of you like to smoke, right? Think of it. Think about for example, just let's say you smoke a pack a day. You smoke 20 cigarettes a day. Start by smoking 19 and then 18 cigarettes and then 17. Slowly, gradually try to cut out, try to reduce the amount of cigarettes you smoke, because every cigarette you smoke is going to affect you down the line. Why kill yourself when God gave you your health? You understand? Why kill yourself when God gave you your health, and we should be grateful for our health, right? There's someone called MM. I don't know what your name is. I'm guessing, is that Hamad? MM?
Me?
Yes, MM, is that you?
Yeah, it's Mishari al-Tayri.
Oh, sorry, Mishari. Okay, go ahead, Mishari. Tell me, yes. So which question do you like, Mishari, and tell us about it.
I would like the first question.
Oh, I love this one.
And the strongest thing I have ever came across.
The strangest.
Strangest.
I have a feeling, Michelle, you're going to have something very, very strange. Mishari. I have a feeling you have something very strange, Mishari, right?
Yeah.
Allah yastur.
There's a small fish that lives in a sea, and it eats only plants. So I came across that fish because I wanted to switch from lab-made multivitamin to this fish, an organic switch, because this fish has a lot of essential nutrients. It's very rich in it. So it's called sardine. Yeah. And it was the hardest thing I have ever eaten, because it has a very strong odor, smell, and the taste was weird, very weird.
Do you still eat sardines, Mishari?
Yeah, every day.
Every day?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Because I wanted to switch to the natural form, because the fish has a lot of rich in vitamins and oils.
True.
It's very healthy.
That's true.
It's a superfood. So yeah,
That's
it was
amazing.
very hard, and I still have. I can't adjust myself to eat it, but
So
I eat it. I have to.
are you forcing yourself, Mishari, to eat sardines, or are you actually
To be
enjoying it?
honest, I have I put my goal in front of me because it's very natural. That's why I force myself to eat it.
You're forcing.
And I'm okay by forcing myself because it's very healthy.
Okay.
Better than the lab-made multivitamin. Because the multivitamin, in my point of view, I'm not. I don't have trust in them because I see them when I go to the restaurant. I can see my. When I pee, excuse me, I see my pee. The color is different.
I
think
see.
the body rejects the lab-made multivitamin.
Okay, so Mishari, how have you felt after switching to like a, let's say, a sardine diet, if you want?
To be honest, I have felt the body. I have felt very strong, and I
Okay.
can work more harder.
Wow. So you feel
And I
like
felt my joint pain that has gone,
really?
unlike before. Yeah, and I have a lot of injuries in my body.
Wow. Okay, great. So according to Mishari, he switched to like a sardine diet. He says the odor is a bit it's kind of like a smelly fish, but overall he's actually happier and he has no more joint pain. He feels like he has more energy. So you should do better on the presentations because you're eating sardines, right?
Yeah, because it has omega-6 and all the oil is good for the brain. So
Okay.
I'll do perfect.
Okay, great. So guys, yeah, there you go. You have you have the evidence from Mishari. If you want to do better on your presentations, please eat more sardines.
Yeah, but close your nose when you eat. That's advice.
Yeah, close your nose when you eat the sardines. Yeah, I don't know if Mishari is he has like a sardine business or something in Kuwait. I'm not sure if he's like trying to promote his own company or something. But again, I feel like sardines are they might not be the most enjoyable foods as Mishari mentioned. They do have a strong smell, but the overall benefit you get health wise is tremendous according to Mishari. So guys, give it a try if you're like into fish. طبعا try sardines. They are they are like small fish. They are sold in Kuwait. You can find them in Kuwait. You can find them in the Jamia as well. They come like dried as well. So give it a try. But just might make a difference for you. Thank you, Mishari. Thank you for that. That's very interesting.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Let's hear from Muhammad Al-Aid. Is it? I don't know. I'm sorry if I pronounce your name incorrectly.
No, it's the right.
Okay, great. Yeah, Muhammad. So which question do you like? Which one do you want to talk about?
I'm gonna talk about how can we encourage people to adopt a healthier lifestyle in Kuwait.
Okay, go ahead.
So as we live in Kuwait, there is a lot of obesity because there is a lot of let's say junk food restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
and to cut that habit from our people, let's say we should separate more restaurant, more healthier restaurant, like health food restaurant, but let's make the price go down a little bit because all of this restaurant being so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So if we focus on the price of this food and if we make it like fast food but healthier, it's gonna, I think it's gonna be more how can we say it, we're gonna make the percent of the obesity being so low.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but yeah, go ahead.
yeah.
Alan. Go ahead.
Yeah, and there is a lot of stuff like the government should do more blood tests to the people because
the obesity gonna give them pressure and diabetes and a lot of bad stuff in their body, and they will recognize it if they do a blood test. So it's gonna make them afraid, and they're gonna change their lifestyle.
Okay, that's a good point, Muhammad. But let me ask you a question. Imagine, Muhammad, that you're trying to open a restaurant right now in Kuwait. Okay?
Yeah.
Would you open a burger place or would you open a healthy vegan place?
Depends. Like, I think I will open because I'm already like I play sport and I do a lot of stuff, a lot of diet, always. So I know about the nutrition and all this stuff, but I will go for it's not. I don't mean about the vegan. I mean about the healthy food. Like you can say less oil, or you can change the oil, and you can make the food not too much calories.
Yeah, but don't you think, Muhammad, that people in Kuwait enjoy the extra calories? Don't you think they enjoy the unhealthy food? That's why we have so many fast food restaurants in Kuwait.
Yeah, but if you see the percentage of the obesity in Kuwait, you're gonna be shocked because it's 17%. So we should do something, guys.
But do you think people care, Muhammad?
Yeah, not all of them, not the majority, but believe me, the fast people care. Like if they find a fast food healthier restaurant with not too much price, I think they will go to it.
Okay.
If it's good restaurant, I mean, not if it's bad restaurant, no one gonna go to it.
Yeah, okay, that's a good point, Muhammad. Yeah, I mean, guys, remember we have something called supply and demand, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do we have so many fast food restaurants in Kuwait? It's because there's a big demand for it, right? Who doesn't eat fast food? Almost everybody in Kuwait eats fast food, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe as Muhammad said, maybe if we can get more people to eat healthier, maybe if we can get more people to try a different lifestyle, hopefully things will change in Kuwait. But at the moment, the way I see it, guys, to be honest, if we don't have awareness, if we don't teach people about the dangers of fast food and the high calories and the high salt and high sugar diets, things are going to continue the way they are. As a businessman, why should I open a restaurant and serve healthy food when I know that there's a huge demand for burgers, pizza, ice cream, sugar, salt, and so on and so forth? Again, a businessman wants to make money. They're not there, wallah, to feed you. They're there to make money. My goal as a businessman, when I open a business or like a restaurant, my goal is to make as much money as possible. And if I know that people are going to they're going to enjoy burgers more than healthy food, as a businessman, I am more likely going to open a burger place where I will make money instead of lose money and feed people healthy food. So it all depends on us, guys. We as consumers, we have to try our best to change our lifestyle. Instead of craving more burgers, more pizza, more unhealthy foods, we have to start craving healthier foods, because this is going to affect our diet. It's going to affect our health. Remember, if you look at this from like an Islamic point of view, your health, the health that God gave you, it's like an amana. It's like, you understand, and God gave this to you, and on the day of judgment, God's going to ask you, what did you do with your time? How did you spend your money? And what did you do with the health I gave you? And there are people who are struggling in the hospital right now. They cannot breathe without a machine. They have to have injections, they have to take medicine every single day. And you are, alhamdulillah, you're healthy, you're fine. God gave you this health, yet we are abusing the health that God gave us by slowly killing ourselves, by eating, by eating foods that are high in sugar and high in salt and so on and so forth. That's why drugs are, that's why like in Islam, if you think of drugs and think of alcohol, for example, anything which harms the body is haram in Islam, because God gave you this gift of health. And if you take drugs, if you, for example, drink alcohol, you are slowly killing yourself. That's why I also believe if I was like a sheikh, I would make smoking haram, because smoking, shisha, whatever, vaping, these e-cigarettes, they're all slowly killing you. They're all slowly killing you. You understand? It's like a slow death. And you might not die instantly, you might not feel it, but it's slowly killing you, right? Let's hear from Abdullah. Abdullah Khatib, go ahead.
Doctor, can I add something?
Yeah, please do. Please add.
Actually, it was the restaurant in Ardia. Diet Circle is his name. It's very good, very delicious. And the price, it's good. They have pizza, burger. The menu it's very big. And, it's you don't do diet.
Okay.
Just try it. It's very delicious.
It's called Diet Circle.
Yeah, it's diet circle. It's have pasta, burger, fried chicken.
Uh-huh. Is it supposed to be
Very,
healthy,
very
Abdullah?
delicious. Yeah, it's healthy.
Okay. Do you work there? Like, are you? Is that like your business or something?
No, it's not my business. I'm customer.
Or you're just a customer who's like advertising for free.
Yeah. I am very customer in here.
But you said they have fried chicken. Isn't fried chicken not healthy for you, Abdullah?
No, I am Michal, not Abdullah.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm sorry, not fried chicken. It's grilled chicken.
Oh, they have grilled chicken. Okay.
Yeah.
So Diet Circle. Okay.
This diet circle, yeah.
Okay, so you heard it from Mishal, Diet Circle. He doesn't work there. It's not his business, but he says he's a loyal customer. So if you want healthy food in Ardiya, there is Ardiya طبعا is the place where your university is located. If you're ever like hungry and you find yourself in Ardiya for some reason, please try Diet Circle. By the way, Ardiya, like a long time, like 10 years ago, they had nothing. They had no restaurants in Ardiya. Now, if you go to Ardiya, oh my God, the amount of restaurants and cafes you find in Ardiya is just crazy. It's crazy, and it's because of the universities. Of course, we have at least 2 universities now in Ardiya. We have طبعا AOU. We also have the one next to us. I think it's called IUK or something like that. And of course, when you have universities and students, طبعا, you will always have hungry students, and so therefore having restaurants in that area also makes sense. Look at Salmiya, for example. We have, I think, again, 2 universities. We have AUK and some other university as well. So طبعا you have so many restaurants in Salmiya as well. Let's hear from Abdullah Khatib.
Assalamu alaikum. How are you, Doctor?
Alaikum salam. How are you, Abdullah?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. So I will take question 7. Is it embarrassing to work in a fast food restaurant in Kuwait?
Yes, thank you for that, because I love this question.
Okay. Okay. Work in in these jobs in Kuwait is one of the distorted concepts for many reasons, which I will try to mention some of them. But before that, I would like to talk about my experience. I lived in Egypt for 3 years, and I worked in a variety of jobs, both easy and difficult. This diversity gives me a wonderful experience, and this is what I hope people here understand, because it's difficult to work in these jobs here in Kuwait without society standing against you or dealing with you with racism, or everyone should know that work is not just a way to get money. Work is much more than that. You may work as a waiter, for example, to learn communication skills or have a experience. You may work in a customer service to learn patience, and you may work in a job because you have values that you want to spread. So money is just one of the motives and not everything. So if we deal with work like this, our ideas about it will change, and we will be more happy. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Abdullah. That's excellent, exactly. But Abdullah, let me ask you, why is it? This is the question. Why is it embarrassing, or why do some people think that working as a waiter or as a delivery guy, for example, why is that embarrassing in Kuwait, for example? What's the issue with that?
I think it's the culture. The culture here is not like other places, because the Kuwaiti people used to easy jobs, and since the oil came out, and in the past this jobs was fine.
Yeah, that's true.
With it, yeah.
Yeah, good point, Abdullah. Exactly. So, guys, yeah, if you think of Kuwait's past, let's say before the discovery of oil versus Kuwait today, yeah, I mean, back in the old days, it was normal for people to have these kinds of jobs. We have people called al-Kandari. Al-Kandari were people who used to get water, for example, right? There, yeah. So it's so that's a good point. But today, again, as Abdullah mentioned, life, thanks to the obviously discovery of oil, life has become so much easier for everybody in Kuwait, right? And so therefore finding someone working in a fast food restaurant might be a bit strange. But again, I think I agree with what Abdullah said. It's okay. It's as long as you're working, you're doing something with your time. It's not only about money. It's about maybe making use of your time, maybe teaching you patience, maybe being responsible. Some people are responsible for their families. Some people are responsible for their siblings. So there's no shame, like in my view, in my point of view, and I support Abdullah with this. There's no shame working in a fast food restaurant as long as you're doing it for the right reasons. You're doing it to learn a new skill. Maybe you're learning it to advance. Maybe you're trying to save up a bit of money. Maybe you're trying to become more mature, right? So instead of just wasting your time doing nothing at home, I think working hard and just doing your best is something which is noble. You should be proud of yourself for getting a job and for helping your family and for saving a bit of money. This is something that instead of just sitting at home and being a burden on your family and just doing nothing with your life, at least you're doing something. Maybe you want to be a manager, because when you join the career world and you get a job, you don't start off as a manager automatically. You have to start somewhere. So usually people start off at a low paying job, and then you slowly you work your way up. So maybe you want to start by working in a fast food restaurant just to get some experience, and then slowly you might want to be like a regional manager, and then you might want to be a coordinator, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I mean, there is still the stigma in Kuwait where if you kind of work in a fast food restaurant, it's kind of strange. But again, I don't see it that way, to be honest. And actually, in the summer, if you look at when we have a lot of students who work here in the summer. They stay in Kuwait in the summer, and you see them working in the avenues. You see them working in places that sell clothes, for example. You see them selling perfume. So again, guys,
Doctor, before I traveled to Egypt, I lived in Kuwait about 15 years or more than that. When I came back, I saw the food truck. It wasn't in the past. It just lately came out. So it's very important and good for spread this kind of jobs.
Exactly.
Because it's not very embarrassing like working in McDonald's or something like that.
Yeah, that's so true. Good point. Exactly. Good point, Abdullah. Exactly. Think of food trucks. Exactly. 10 years ago, as Abdullah mentioned, you didn't really find that many food trucks. Today, everywhere you go, almost in every area in Kuwait, you'll find a food truck, right? And so what? Yeah. So I mean, if you have a business, you sell food. That's amazing. Why not? You're working. You're doing something with your time. You're starting your own business. Maybe you never know. You could be the next famous restaurant, right? Farish Swaleh, for example, owned by a Kuwaiti guy. He started off in Kuwait, and now he has a branch in London. So you never know, guys. If as long as you're working, you're doing something with your time. You might be helping your family. You should always be proud of yourself for working hard, right? Don't ever be embarrassed about having a job or just putting your time to good use, right? Let me just see who else has his hand up. Yeah, who else wants to speak? Sorry, I cannot. Where I can't see where are these people? Wait, no, this is me. Did I just put my hand up? Okay, I just put my own hand up. Let me just see. Okay, anyone else, guys? Anyone else want to talk about any of the questions? Guys, please feel free to do so, because as I said, this is very good practice. This is good practice for your actual presentation, yes?
So, sir, I want to just give my opinion about people who work in restaurant.
Yes, go ahead, Muhammad.
Yes, as Abdullah said, he said, Kuwait, before. Before this time, does the Kuwaitis work in this jobs? I don't think so. Most of Kuwaitis was trails and this stuff, and the trails doesn't work in this job because there was independent. The trails was independent rules. It's not they doesn't get rules from the government or something.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's changed from the 18th
the 80s, like the Kuwaitis start working as drivers and this stuff. So it's changed from the 80s.
I see.
Not,
Okay. Yeah. I think before the oil, maybe you're saying, Hamad, that people they used to work more like in the sea. They used to like dive for pearls and things like that, right?
There was like if they work on the sea or if they are let's say soldiers.
Ah, soldiers. Okay. Yeah. So
What I meant was that they was working hard, not specifically working in a restaurants, and you know.
If you mean that, it makes sense now.
yeah, that's true. Exactly. So I think the jobs they had were like more demanding. Obviously, they were like more demanding mentally, physically, and so on. You understand? And again, because of the discovery of oil, alhamdulillah, Kuwait, I mean, Kuwait's a very comfortable country, to be honest. If you've ever been outside, I mean, people pay taxes outside. People work from like 9 to 5. I have, my brothers they live in Europe, and they tell me, well, life is not easy. Life is not easy in Europe. We are living in heaven, to be honest. I mean, Kuwait, life is so comfortable. It's very, very comfortable. Obviously, life wasn't comfortable, before the discovery of oil, because people had to sail for like, maybe months at a time. A father would sometimes leave his family. He would go, whatever, like in December, he would come back, for example, in March. So he would not see his family for like, months, just to kind of, maybe to dive, to get a few pearls. People would walk all the way to Basra. They would maybe sometimes even take a horse. Before the invention of cars, they would travel to places like Palestine, Iraq and Iran and so on, just to get water. And life was not easy. But thanks to the discovery of oil and thanks to the abundance of khair and money in this country, alhamdulillah, life is so much easier, right? But again, there's no shame in working. So guys, I think this is the point that we're all trying to get to. There is no shame in working, guys. As long as you're putting your time to good use, you're doing something with your life, you should be proud of yourself, honestly. Yeah. What else? Anyone else want to say something? Yes, Suleiman, go ahead.
Mr. Farhan, about the point where he said like Kuwaitis never like work in restaurants and stuff. Actually, I have to disagree with this because this isn't true. Historically, Kuwaitis used to they have the souk, right?
Yeah.
And then the souk they used to sell kebab. And who was selling the kebab? It wasn't like they didn't have expat back then. The Kuwaitis used to sell the kebabs. They used to sell nakhi bajilla. Nakhi bajilla, actually, not even the guys. The women of the house used to go outside and sit in the street and they sell the nakhi bajilla. And there is no shame about this, you know.
True.
This is history, proven history. So yes, they did work in selling food in the souk and everywhere, and there is no shame of that. Not every Kuwaiti was like a diver looking for pearls. No, that's just a small part of the society back then.
Okay.
And that's all I wanted to add. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Suleiman. Yeah, for correcting us. Exactly. So again, as Suleiman said, people have the the misconception that everyone was working in the sea and diving for pearls. That's not true. As Suleiman mentioned, he mentioned that maybe there was a small portion of people who were divers, who were sailors, for example, and he even said the women used to sell the nakh and bajalla, which is again, there's no shame in that. Why should anyone think of it as shame? If you're making money for your family, you're doing a job, you're making money in a halal way. Why should that be? Why should there's no shame in that whatsoever? Women are even allowed to work. I mean, think of the wife of the Prophet, peace be upon him, right? Khadija, she was a businesswoman. So some people have this misconception that women should not work in the Middle East or as Muslims. That's not true whatsoever. Women have just as much right to work as men do, if they want to, of course, right? They don't have to, but again, if women want to work, they want to open their own business, obviously, why not? And by the way, today it's so much easier, with social media and Facebook and so on. Today it's so much easier to open your own business online. You can easily open a business online. You can sell food, you can sell whatever you want, and you never know. SubhanAllah, you might get, you just might get the right amount of traffic. We have today food bloggers. Imagine we have a career today where people are just social media stars. They actually eat food for a living. They eat food, they review it, they put it on social media, and they get tons of likes and they get sponsorship money, and it's crazy. Imagine people paying you money to eat. That's crazy, right? So again, there are obviously, if you think about the history of Kuwait, history is, Kuwait has come a long way, obviously, from where it was to where it is today. And as I said, thankfully, because there is money in this country, it's easier for us to make a living. That's why people come from abroad. Why do so many foreigners come to Kuwait? Because there is khair in this country, because there is money in this country, because we have opportunities in this country, right? And again, if you think of the taxes, alhamdulillah, we don't have taxes in Kuwait. Whereas if you go to Europe, my brother tells me sometimes up to 40%. Imagine in your salary, imagine they take almost 50% of your salary just for taxes. So thankfully, again, in places like Kuwait and the Middle East, we are lucky to be living in these places because we don't have we don't really have taxes. The salaries are pretty good. The cost of living isn't that high. Yes, it's getting higher, but it's getting higher everywhere around the world. Not only in Kuwait and in the Middle East, but it's getting higher everywhere, especially after COVID and so on. But generally speaking, guys, yeah, if you wanna sell something, if you have a business idea, now is the time to try. You have nothing to lose if you approach it in the right way, guys. You never know. And also, as we mentioned before, since we're talking about taste and nutrition, we have an abundance of fast food places. Why not try a healthier approach? Why not try to make burgers in a healthier way?
So on, I have I want to talk about you said about the tax and the stuff. If you open restaurant in another countries, like if you see, I was living in US before 1 year.
Okay.
And if there is a high tax in a lot of states in US, but if you see it in another view, you're gonna find that the restaurant the restaurant you're gonna buy something from them, they're gonna make you pay for the tax,
Yeah.
So as a businessman or as a worker, the tax is gonna not affect you because everything reach high for the other people.
True.
So you're gonna make good money, I guess.
Yeah, good point. Exactly. Even if you're an American living abroad, you still pay taxes. Let's say you have the American citizenship and you're living in Kuwait, right? You still pay taxes in America. That's crazy. It almost doesn't make sense. It's like you're not even living in the country, but you're still paying taxes. Yeah, I don't know. So again, as I said, guys, are things going to change in the future? Only God knows, Taban. If taxes are going to be introduced in the Arab world, but again, I feel like today, like we're living in a day and age where opening up your own business, making money in this country is actually possible, right? Actually, do you know there's a place in Kuwait called Sambusa Box? I don't know if you guys have heard of this place. It's called Sambusa Box, and basically it's about a Kuwaiti family. They had I think she's Filipino. They had a Filipino nanny who used to make amazing sambusa at home. And so when people came to their house to visit, they would ask the couple, where are you getting this sambusa from? Like, this sambusa is amazing. And then the couple would say, actually, the nanny made the sambusa. And they're like, what? The nanny made the sambusa? And they're like, yeah, the nanny made the sambusa. And so they actually encouraged the couple to open a restaurant or to open a little place. And they did open a place, I think in Sharq, if I'm not mistaken, called Sambusa Box. And it's just made by the Filipino nanny. It's amazing, and the sambusas are really, really good. It's actually one of my favorites. So subhanallah, from just being a nanny to from being a nanny and just making sambusa at home to actually having your own place. So you never know, if you actually have a good business idea, the sky's the limit, to be honest. So guys, these are, again, I really wish we were in class just to kind of have a more in-depth discussion. I would have put you into groups and so on and so forth, but we're not in class. We're not physically in class. We're doing this online. But again, all of these questions, the questions you see in front of you guys on your screen, they're all very, very interesting. Yeah. For example, do you read the food labels before buying food items? I don't know. Some of you do, some of you don't. Should we teach students how to grow their own food? Another interesting question. Do you think it's important for teachers or for institutions or universities to teach students or to teach people how to grow food? How can we make healthy food more appealing to children? Yeah, that's very, very important. What are your thoughts on advertising fast food to children? Do you think do you think we should start advertising? Do you think we should limit the amount of advertising we do to children, especially when it comes to fast food? Look at number 8. If you could open your own restaurant, what would you call it? Let's have a few answers from you guys. Imagine you had the chance to open your own restaurant. What would you call the restaurant? Fawaz, any idea?
No, sir, I'm thinking.
Okay. Mishari, can you help us? What would you call your restaurant, Mishari?
Koot, maybe.
Koot.
Yeah, like Kuwait.
Okay, Koot. Okay, why not?
But steal it.
we're gonna trademark it. Don't worry. خلاص. You cannot use the word coot because Mishal is Mishal is using it. Suleiman, any idea?
I mean, depends on the kind of restaurant, like if it's burger or anything. But right now, I would say I would call it something flashy, like big word, buzzword, to get the attention of the like teenagers and stuff.
Okay, that's smart. I like that.
Yeah, and also it doesn't have to be like healthy or anything. It's just like a way to make more money, you know. That's how I think about it.
Yeah.
So anything with a big buzzword like flash burger or something like this, like buzzwords, whatever the teenagers now are like trending between them.
Yeah, that's actually smart. That's very smart from Suleiman. As you see, Suleiman, he has a business mind, so he's not there to make. He's not there to kind of give you guys healthy food. He's there to make money. So if he could call his restaurant anything, he'd probably think of something, like some famous buzzword or something very catchy that young people are actually using these days. Maybe like a TikTok burger or something. I don't know, the TikTok burger place. I don't know, maybe something like that, because young people love TikTok these days. Osama, what about you, Osama? Can you hear me? Osama is not with us. Okay. What about Fatma? Fatma, can you hear us?
Yes, Victor.
Yes, hi Fatma, how are you?
But my Wi-Fi is... I'm good, Victor. How are you?
I'm good. Your Wi-Fi is not good. Don't worry. Don't worry. Fatma, imagine you had your own restaurant. What would you call it?
Actually, I think my restaurant... I think anime name, just like One Piece.
Anime name.
Like, I don't know.
Okay. Okay, good. So Fatma would choose one of the popular animes that are happening at the moment or people are watching. That's actually very smart, because again, animation is very popular in Kuwait. So yeah, like One Piece restaurant, or Attack on Titan restaurant. That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that, Fatma. MashaAllah, I like that. That's very smart of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mishal, sorry, I saw your hand up. Mishal, go ahead.
Actually, I want to say it's Sanji. It's like a Fatma. You know it's what?
Sanji?
Sanji is the character in One Piece.
Ah, Sanji is the character. Okay.
Sanji Nayak or something. Or maybe in the Titan, Attack on Titan. Some characters in here. It's love food. Its name's Sasha. Maybe Sasha is good.
That's smart.
But I don't think Sasha is too nice. It's quite horrible.
That's a good idea, Michelle. I like it. That's good. Yeah, people who are fans of the anime or people who are fans of like One Piece or Attack on Titan, for example, they are surely going to try it. For example, imagine having like a theme, like you have a specific. I don't know if you guys remember. There was a place in Jabriya. It's a long time ago, and this guy who opened the restaurant. It was a very small restaurant in Jabriya, and the guy, he loved animation. He loved like these old cartoons, like Captain Majid, Grandizer, and so on. And if you walk inside the restaurant, he had figures, he had animation, he had TVs, he had. Everything was so different about the place, mashallah. And he actually had a Grandizer statue that greeted you on the door, subhanallah. He had like pictures of Captain Majid inside. In all the cartoons from like the late 80s and also the 90s, he had a picture of them somewhere in the place. Even the tissue he had was like a character. It was like one of the cartoons that we used to watch. It was like walking inside a museum, to be honest. It wasn't a restaurant. It was like walking inside a museum. But I think sadly the place closed, unfortunately. I don't know, because it was a very small place in Jabriya. It wasn't very well known, but I still remember when I used to go there, it was very, very nice. Because everywhere you look, you just get memories of these old cartoons, like Grandizer and so on and so forth, and Pokemon, and it was crazy. Look at number 9, guys. Number 9 says, should people pay extra if they leave food behind in restaurants? Now, I'm pretty sure sometimes when you go to a restaurant, you've seen how they leave food behind, right? So guys, do you think we should make people pay more? Do you think we should make people pay more if they leave food behind? What do you guys think? Fatma, what do you think? And then I'll have Michelle. Fatma, go ahead.
Yes, I think they will buy more because they don't. They be lazy. They don't want to go make food. Everything is.
So you think, Fatma, that we should make people?
I don't know.
You think, and if let's say you have a family, they go to a restaurant and then they finish eating, but then there's like a lot of food left behind. Do you think we should make them pay more money because they as a punishment, yani, because they left food behind?
Maybe yes.
Okay, maybe yes. Okay, Michelle, what do you?
But I think it's yes.
You think it's yes, Fatma? Okay. Okay, Fatma says yes. Michelle, what do you think?
It's 100% yes. Actually, it's my friend. My friend, it's hit me if he go to the restaurant with me.
Really?
I go so mad if he leaves some food in his plate.
Yeah, exactly. Why? Tell us why. Why does it make you feel? Why does it make you feel mad, Michelle?
It's food. No, don't put it in the basket. Put it into your mouth. It's food.
Okay.
Why you order so much and eat little? Why?
Yeah,
Order for you, just for you.
that's true.
You want sharing, but not order too much. It's haram.
Exactly. Yeah. Good point. Good point, Michelle. Exactly. I agree. Fawaz?
You're already paying extra if you leave food behind, right? Because you're paying for the full meal, but you're eating part of it.
Yeah, that's a good point, Fawaz. But like, do you think we should make people pay a bit more extra because they're leaving, like they're intentionally?
No, I don't think so. In Arabic culture, they really you're raised to eat your whole plate, but
Yeah.
it's not necessarily healthy. You don't actually have to eat the full plate. But maybe if you go to some restaurant, share food, and that would be better.
Okay.
But no, I don't think it should be extra.
But I mean, don't you think, as Michelle said, don't you think that yes? I mean, like we are raised in a way to not leave food behind, but we do it all the time. So don't you think there should be some sort of penalty or punishment? Yeah.
I don't think so. Give them a tip, If you can wash the plates, give them an extra tip. But no, I don't think it should be.
Okay. I feel like
Extra.
Fawaz, do you leave food behind? I feel like you're one of those guys. Are you one of those guys?
I don't know. I don't.
Okay, but
I should, but I don't.
okay, but don't you agree with Michelle? He said it's haram. Like it's haram to leave food behind. Don't you agree?
Is it really haram? Keep it for leftovers,
No, I mean
Take it with you.
yeah, take it with you, but not everyone does that, right? Like some people they
Sure.
they leave I'm sure you've seen this. You go to a restaurant and you see people leave and they just leave tons of food behind. Have you seen?
A bunch of food. Yeah, they order too much extra food. That is a bit disrespectful too.
Yeah,
The workers in the restaurant. I
exactly.
guess that's true.
Yeah. Okay, great. So we were able to convince him. Yes. Okay, great. We were able to convince you. Yes. We're able to convince him. Yes. You know what, guys? There are some restaurants who do this. Actually, I don't know. I think there's one in Saudi Arabia. Let me hear from Abdullah. Abdullah Khatib. Now we'll hear from Michelle. Abdullah, go ahead.
I think the restaurant should give the buyer three choices. Take it as a takeaway, or pay more for it, or eat it. But they can say it in a good way. For example, the expenses of getting rid of the leftovers, for example, or something like that.
Yeah, that's good. Exactly. So it's nice. As Abdullah mentioned, maybe give the guys a choice, like three choices: either eat it, either take it, or maybe pay extra or something. Yeah, there has to be a way because haram. Imagine how much food you're wasting every year. Just go to any restaurant. The next time you go to a restaurant, look at how much food is left behind by people. Wallah haram. There's so much food. There are people starving who have nothing, and yet we are here throwing food away. It's crazy, wallah. Yes, Michelle, go ahead. Michelle, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Actually, we have in my society it's bad saying. I don't agree with that. I say in Arabic.
Okay.
يزيد ولا ينقص. It's against the Islam, against the everything. Why يزيد ولا ينقص? No. خليه ينقص.
That's true, Michelle. Yeah, I like that. That's so true. Exactly.
After you don't very starving, eat.
Exactly.
Eat more.
صح؟ That's a good point. Yeah, I like that, Michelle. Very good. I like that. Who is HY? Sorry, I don't know who you are. HY? There's a guy called HYALZ. I don't know who you are. Who's HY? You have your hand up.
Can I add something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mishal, our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, the food for two is enough for three.
Excellent.
So it's against the Israelis.
Exactly, very good. Thank you, Abdullah, for that. Exactly. Food for two is enough for three, subhanAllah. Look at it's so simple. It's so simple, yet it's so wise, subhanAllah. Even, by the way, in Ramadan, guys, Ramadan is coming up soon, right? Please, I know I went to a restaurant once in Ramadan, wallah, I never went again. Because the amount of food that people waste in Ramadan, subhanAllah, it was saddening. Wallah, I was depressed. I needed therapy. The amount of, again, like in Ramadan, we're supposed to be saving food. We're supposed to be feeding with the poor. Yet we waste so much food in Ramadan. And that's why the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, again, when it comes to iftar, he has a beautiful saying, right? When you have iftar, a third of your stomach should be food, a third water, and a third air, right? Let's hear from HYALZ. I don't know who this person is. Who's HY?
Abdurrahman, this is Abdurrahman. Sorry for that.
Oh, Abdurrahman, yes, go ahead.
I disagree with that. I just maybe as far as I can tell, just advising him to don't waste your food except for the order as you can eat, as much as you can eat. That's all. Because there's there's a lot of people in other countries, they don't even find the food.
That's true.
That's all.
Abdurrahman, but how would you encourage people? Like, let's say, for example, you own a restaurant and then someone comes and they leave food behind. What can you do to what can you tell them?
Just advising him next time, just order as much as you can eat, like that.
Okay.
Maybe he will agree or not.
Okay.
I think this is the only way, or
okay. So Abdurrahman might give the guy advice. Yeah, why not? Hopefully it works. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but yeah, maybe it will in the future. Yeah, maybe give these people advice. Remind them that, guys, haram. When you order food, either take it with you if you have food left behind. Either take it with you or give it to somebody, and because number one, you already paid for the food. Number two, this is
also.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is the other option here to give the other people that's poor or like working with not much salary.
Exactly. Yeah, good point. Exactly. Yeah, haram, because you already paid for the food. Yeah, you already paid for the food. Plus, there are how many hungry people do we have around the world? We have millions of hungry people. People die every single day. Wallah, they don't have food to eat. So here, alhamdulillah, we have food and we're throwing it away. Wallah, it's a shame. Wallah, it's a shame. Yes, Michelle.
Mishari, not Mishari.
Oh, sorry. We have two people. We have Mishari and Michelle. Sorry. Yes. Who are you? Are you Mishari?
Yeah.
Okay, Mishari. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Mishari.
I disagree on the haram part. I don't say haram because the extra food will be given to the one who the people who need it, and the portion size comes from the restaurant, not the customer.
Yeah, but if you
blame the customer, we don't eat.
But Mishari, if you let's say you go to a restaurant and you have your order and they give you a big plate and you have some leftovers, they're going to throw the food away, aren't they?
I will tell them don't throw it or give it to me. I'll give it. So no shame or haram. I see.
No, but I mean, if you
can I say something?
If you throw the food away, isn't it haram, Mishari?
I will never. I don't think someone will throw some food.
But haven't you seen it in restaurants? Haven't you ever been to a restaurant and you see like a family, they get up from the table and then they leave all the food the way it is on the table? Haven't you ever seen that in Kuwait?
The restaurant will take the food and maybe they don't throw it. I don't know. I haven't seen they throw food or something.
Oh, okay. Maybe you haven't seen. Okay, but I think from what I know, if you don't tell the people to pack it up, like to put the food in boxes and give it to somebody, if you don't tell them that, they will automatically throw the food away.
Yeah, haram on their part if they throw it.
Yeah, but as a customer, you're the one paying for the food. Shouldn't you be the one to tell them, no, please put this in boxes and give it to somebody? You understand?
And me, I always tell them.
Yeah, that's good. That's the way it's supposed to be, because you're the one ordering the food. You understand? So if you're the one ordering the food and you have a lot of food left behind, you should tell the waiters or like whoever's working, please put them in boxes and give them to somebody. Right?
Yeah, I think this is the norm. Most people do it.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. Because haram, I think we waste a lot of food. To be honest, and sometimes when you go to a restaurant, you feel people, they leave the table and there's so much food left behind. And sometimes I don't know. I hope that they actually give the food to somebody. But generally speaking, I think if the customer does not say, please put this in boxes, give it to somebody, they will generally throw the food away because they assume, khalas, you're done, and they can't give it to somebody unless you tell them to.
Maybe.
Yeah. Let's.
I don't think it's a restaurant responsibility, because this process of giving the food for the poor people is expense extra for the restaurant. So I don't think that we should that the customers should pay as punishment, but and the money goes to the pocket of the restaurant, but they pay and the money is taken to repackage and heat the food and give it to the poor.
Yeah, good point. Exactly, good point, Abdullah. Yeah. Have you ever seen? Have you guys ever been to a wedding? Have you seen how much food goes to waste in a wedding? It's crazy.
No.
Yes. Can you hear us, Abdullah? Mishal, was your hand up? Sorry, Mishal, did you want to say something?
I think the sound his sound cut. But I want to say that food, like after the wedding, they doesn't waste it. It's go to for charity.
Oh, great! Alhamdulillah, that's good. That's good to know. Yes, that's true. There are actually charities in Kuwait that actually go to a wedding after you're done, and they will package all the leftover food and give it to the poor who need it. That's actually a good idea.
I mute myself, I'm sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, food in wedding, yeah, it's good charity. It's it's a lot company in there.
Okay, that's good.
Actually, I want to add something. I would add something in restaurants.
Yeah.
My friends order in McDonald's like Big Tasty. Okay.
Okay.
It's order the big meal. Take the order and open the sandwich. Remove tomato. Remove pickles. Remove everything. Just meat, bread, and cheese. I said, why order it? Order it and without this. He said no. He doesn't give me discount. Why I pay something I don't eat? You throw, you put in basket. Why?
Exactly.
No. If you give me discount, it's nonsense. It's nonsense.
That's true. That's a shame. Wallah, haram. Again, people order like a burger as you said, and then this person ends up removing the pickles, the tomatoes, and so on. And haram. Just either you buy the burger originally without the tomatoes, without the pickles, because you're still wasting. You're wasting the vegetables. Haram. Why do that? So guys, yeah. I mean, again, one good thing about Kuwait is that again we have companies in Kuwait who go to weddings. After wedding, they take all the leftover food and then they give it to the poor people who need it. Another very nice thing in Kuwait, I'm sure you've seen this, like in certain areas you have homes, they have like a refrigerator outside the house. I'm sure you've seen this. I've seen a lot of them in Jabriya, Surra, around different cities in Kuwait. They have like a refrigerator outside the house, and then if you have any leftover food, you put it inside the refrigerator, and if a person needs to eat or they want to drink water or whatever, they can go to the refrigerator and they can take the leftover food, which is a very smart idea if you think about it. Here, guys, generally in restaurants, again, as I said, if you have leftover food, you have to tell them. You can't just assume that they're going to take the food and give it to the poor people. You have to either take it yourself. You tell them, please, I want this to go, or you say, can you please give this to people who might need it? Okay. From my experience in Kuwait, from restaurants, I've never had any issues except with one restaurant. It's a restaurant called the Coco Room, right? Coco Room in Kuwait. It's a very popular restaurant. I think it's a Kuwaiti concept as well. And whenever I have leftover food, I usually tell the waiters to please put this in plastic boxes, or to have it to go, so that I can take it with me, either eat it myself or maybe give it to someone who might need it. But there is only one restaurant, which is the Coco Room I told you guys about. they did not. When the check came, there was still a lot of food haram left on the table. So I told the guy, I told the guy, can I please have this to go? And then the waiter told me, I'm sorry, sir, we don't have this option here in the restaurant. I'm like, what do you mean you don't have this option? He's like, we don't have this option. We don't offer, we don't have boxes to go. So I told him I don't want to throw the food away. And then I asked him, can I talk to your manager? So the manager comes and he says, what's wrong? I tell him, listen, there's a lot of food left on the table. I don't like to throw food away. So what's the solution? And the guy who works here told me that I can't take it home with me. He said, sir, if you want, what we can do is we can take the food and we can give it to the people who work inside the kitchen. The people who clean the dishes, the janitors and so on. I'm like, khalas, I'll be happy. If you can take the food and give it to someone, if you don't throw the food away, I'll be happy. So they took all the food left over and then they gave it to the workers inside. That's my experience in Kuwait. But generally speaking, it's with restaurants, you have to tell them. You have to tell them, please, I want this to go, or please give it to somebody, but don't throw the food away. Yes, Fatma.
دكتور, I think I will say in Arabic. أتوقع أن لازم يسوون فيديو توعوي. يعني نفس برنامج الصدمة شيء كذي تصير قصة بذنهم قصدي بقلبهم يعني برمضان بعد بالضبط إنه ما يقطون الأكل بالمطاعم والناس تأخذ الأكل معاها أو يعني أي شيء ولا ينقط.
Yeah, good point, Fatma. Exactly, I agree 100%. There has to be some sort of taw'iyah, as Fatma mentioned. There has to be something like a video or something to kind of remind people, guys, haram, this food. And again, I know that most of you don't throw food away, and that's excellent. But there are people, unfortunately, in every society. And I'm not only talking about Kuwait. And everywhere you go, you will find people who will go to a restaurant. They will finish their food, and you will have a lot of food left behind, and they will just simply leave. And haram, leave all the food behind. Haram, this is ni'mah, and you're throwing God's gift away. This is a ni'mah from God, you understand? And as we said, there are millions of people who are starving. For haram, why are you throwing a gift from God and you're just kind of, it doesn't make sense, to be honest, wallah. It really hurts, it breaks my heart. Yes, Mishari?
Is doctors genetically modified food haram to throw?
I mean, if it's still food and you're eating it and it's edible, yeah, and you're throwing it away, why not? I mean, right? Don't you think so? I mean, if it's food, if it's like labeled as food and we're eating it, because if you're talking about genetically modified food, I mean, almost everything we eat today is genetically modified, right?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Do you know the bananas you eat, Mishari? The bananas you eat are not the same bananas that we had like 100 years ago.
Yeah, the organic one, lot of seeds.
Exactly. Yeah. If you guys see the original banana, it had like a lot of black seeds inside the banana, but that wasn't very appealing, I guess. People didn't really like the look of it or the taste of it. So everything's genetically modified these days. I mean, imagine a fruit without seeds. How can you have a fruit without seeds? It's not natural to have fruits without seeds. You can buy a reggi, like a watermelon, without seeds. How is this natural? So there again, if you look at today's food, unfortunately, a lot of it is actually genetically modified, with the science and so on. So, I mean, it's still food at the end of the day, and this food can actually feed other people. So haram, instead of throwing it away, why not give it to people who might need it, they might need it to survive.
Maybe they're doing good in throwing it because maybe it's not healthy.
If it's not healthy, then why order it? Why understand? Why take it? Yeah, you understand? Does that make sense? Yeah. So if it's not good for us as human beings, then why are we eating it? Yeah. Yeah. So guys, let me just quickly go through a few things on your screens. I just have a little PowerPoint presentation I want to quickly show you. This is just everything related to taste and nutrition. Okay, I'm going to show you a few pictures, and then maybe tell me what comes to your mind, guys. Look at this picture. What thought comes to your mind when you see this picture? There's a very famous saying we have in English. Anyone know what it is?
Yeah, oversized or overweight.
Oversized or overweight, okay, good. Or there's something else. We say you are, anyone know the saying?
You are what you eat.
Exactly, you are what you eat, right? So guys, if you tend to eat unhealthy foods, you will look like this. You understand? What goes in is going to come out. Right? If you eat unhealthy all the time, yes, you're going to look unhealthy, you're going to feel unhealthy, and you're going to act unhealthy. Right? You are what you eat. So guys, please be careful what you ingest. Be careful what you put inside your body, right? In this picture, guys, we're trying to show you that we're trying to show you that basically everyone has a decision to make. Every time you go to the jam'iyah, every time you go shopping, every time you go to a restaurant, you are making a decision. You have you can make your own decision. Do you want to eat healthy, or do you want to eat junk food? It's really up to you. Here in this picture, look at the child. You have the child. He has two options. You can either get your sugar from natural sources, fruits and vegetables and so on, or you can get your sugar from synthetic sugar. Synthetic sugar are things that are man-made. Things like donuts, croissants, cakes, and jelly, and so on and so forth, right? So I'm not telling you to avoid all junk food. It's almost impossible, right? But again, we have to limit the amount of junk we put inside our bodies, especially for children. Again, I don't know if you remember, someone mentioned this in the beginning of the class. He said as we get older, it becomes harder for us to change our habits. So why not build, or why not have healthy eating habits, especially for children? If you have children yourself, or if you have like younger siblings, it's very, very important to give them or to teach them healthy eating habits, because it's going to be very hard for you to change their opinion when they're older. Imagine you have a child who's 16 years old smoking, and you imagine you have a man who's 80 years old and he's smoking. Is it going to be easier for you to change the child's opinion of smoking or the old man's opinion of smoking? Imagine you approach an 80-year-old man, you say, Haji, you have a Haji, please stop smoking, it's bad for you. He says, Ya Habibi, Ya Ammi Ruh, I've been smoking ever since the day, and before you were born. Now you're telling me now to stop smoking? Go away. But with a 16-year-old smoking, his mind is still changeable. His mind is still, and you can still form an impression on this person's mind. You can actually convince the 16-year-old to maybe quit smoking. You can show them the disadvantages of smoking. Whereas the 80-year-old man, he will most likely not listen to you, right? Here in this picture, guys, we think about the meals that we have. Generally speaking, we have 3 main meals in the day. We have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? What is this picture trying to teach us? Any idea?
To eat a lot in breakfast and like little bit in lunch and tiny bit in dinner.
Exactly, yeah. Good point, Suleiman, exactly. So here, guys, it's not also what you eat, it's also how much you eat per meal. That's why we have a saying. Even I think it even exists in Arabic. تروق كالملوك وتعشى كالفقراء, something like that. Or have breakfast like a king and have dinner like a poor person. Because guys, imagine, you wake up in the morning. Why is it called breakfast? Think about it. It's 2 words together. It's break, fast. Fast, and you're fasting. And then here you're breaking your fast. So again, when you're sleeping, you don't eat طبعا. I hope that no one eats when they're sleeping, right? So you wake up after 8 hours or 9 hours of sleep or 7 hours of sleep, and now you have breakfast. You're breaking your fast. It's as if you were fasting when you were sleeping, right? You break your fast, and then you have to have a big breakfast. You want something that's going to help you get through the day. You have to go to work, you have to go to school, you have to go to university, whatever. So you have to have enough calories, you have to have enough energy to get you through the day. And then you have an average lunch, and then you have a small dinner. For dinner, maybe have a snack, have something light. Now think of this person over here, the one on the left. This is what most people do. We wake up in the morning, you wake up late, you have coffee for breakfast. Coffee is not breakfast, you understand? So you have like a small breakfast, you have a big lunch, and then for dinner you go out with your friends. You have like a steak, or you have biryani, or you have majboos for dinner. How are you supposed to fall asleep at night if you have a huge dinner? And that's why, guys, if you think of Ramadan, for example, a lot of people, they actually gain weight in Ramadan. They don't lose weight in Ramadan. It's the opposite. Because we eat a lot at night. We have the suhoor, we have the shukhur, which is sleeping. We have the fatur, suhoor, shukhur. We have the ghabqa. We're eating from like late at night all the time. And we're not really exercising. And we don't really eat healthy either, right? So, again, if you really want to lose weight, yes, if you really want to be healthy, think of how much you're eating per meal. And also, if you look at the colors, guys, so here we have mainly green. On the right hand, the guy on the right, the colors are generally green, which is trying to show you that maybe eat more vegetables. Greenery, natural things like vegetables and fruits. And maybe on the left, you have more orange and red, maybe more meat. If you eat a lot of meat, meat is fatty somehow. So if you eat more meats, you could end up gaining more weight. Whereas if you increase the intake of vegetables and fruits, it's actually better for you. Also, you can see him, he's flexing his arms over here, yes? So maybe this picture is also telling us to exercise. Because eating healthy by itself is not enough. You actually have to exercise. Maybe take a walk, maybe join a gym, maybe work out once a week or twice a week, whatever, right? So though, again, if you really want to be healthy, guys, eat healthy and also exercise. Very important. Here again, same thing, you are what you eat. Yes? Look here, we have the broccoli over here. Look at the body language. Right? Look at the body language. You can see that the broccoli looks so much more confident. Maybe giving us the message behind this picture that if you eat healthy, you will look healthy and you will also be more confident. Whereas the burger over here on the left, it doesn't look too confident. Also, if you look at the top of the picture, you will see that maybe, again, if you look at this picture, look at the top of the broccoli, it resembles a brain. If you think of the human organs, this looks like a brain. So again, this message could be that healthy food or good food is not only good for you physically, healthy food is actually good for you mentally. It's good for your brain. Whereas over here on the burger, no one wants a brain that looks like this. Everyone wants a brain that looks like the broccoli, okay? This is something interesting that someone did once. He did like a social experiment. We have a guy who put a watermelon outside, right? So, if you leave food outside, what happens? It goes bad, right? So here you have a watermelon. He left it outside day 1, and then after 80 days, taban, this is what happened to the watermelon, right? It goes bad, obviously, right? Natural things, they decompose. And then the same guy, he took a burger and with fries, he put it outside, and then not after 80 days, but after 180 days, it actually looks almost the same. Imagine. So why is fast food, if you put fast food outside, why does the fast food stay exactly the same? Any idea?
Yeah, sir, I think because they put chemical stuff that make the food stay longer.
Exactly. Yeah, good point, Muhammad. Exactly, yeah. As Muhammad mentioned, why is processed food so bad? Why is fast food bad for us? Because it's full of chemicals, it's full of preservatives that make the food last longer. So again, because if you have a chain like McDonald's, for example, they have to ship their burgers and their patties and everything all around the world. They have places all around the world. So they have to put chemicals inside their burgers or like inside their food items so that they can last longer, especially because they have to travel a lot from America to Europe to the Middle East and so on and so forth. So anything which is natural is supposed to go bad. It's supposed to die, right? Watermelon, leave it outside, it goes bad. Bread, leave it outside for a couple of days, it starts to get moldy. You start to see black spots on it, right? It starts to form fungi and so on, right? But look at fast food. After 180 days, the food looks almost the same. Nothing changed. And it says here, if bacteria doesn't eat it, why should you eat it? If bacteria will not eat this food, why should we eat the food? You understand? So everything they put inside all the chemicals they put inside the burgers, inside the fries, they're not good for us. Yet we tend to eat and we tend to enjoy junk food. Here we have a very beautiful quote that says, every time you eat or drink, you are you're doing one of two things. Every time you eat or drink, you're doing one of two things. You're either feeding disease or fighting it. Subhanallah. Imagine. Every time you eat, guys, every time you eat something, you are doing one of two things. You're either, la samahullah, God forbid, you're either increasing the chances of you getting a disease in your body, or you're actually eating healthy, and that the food you're eating is actually fighting disease inside your body. Subhanallah. Right? God put medicine in the food. I don't mean in burgers, I mean God put medicine in the natural things that God gave us. In the fruits, the vegetables, the seeds, the grains, everything, the herbs, the leaves, subhanallah. So God put medicine in the natural foods that God made for us. We have books. If you go to Jarir, for example, you will find just entire books, encyclopedias about the health benefits of natural foods, of fruits. And subhanallah, every fruit, every vegetable, every herb, every leaf, subhanallah, is good for something. There are things which are good for the eyes, there are things which are good for the kidneys, there are things which are good for the heart, subhanallah. So God put medicine in the food for us. But what did we do as human beings? Because we're greedy and we like to make money, we made burgers, we made pizzas, we made ice cream. Yes, they're delicious, yes, they're nice, but they're not good for us. The more burgers, the more junk food you eat, the more likely you're going to get some sort of disease. Subhanallah, diabetes, high blood pressure, could be stress, heart issues, and so on and so forth, right? I'm sure you guys have seen this before. It's a food pyramid, right, guys? This is a food pyramid that tells us what to eat and how much to eat out of each food group, because not all foods are exactly the same. So on the very top of the food pyramid, you have eat less, and then as you go down, it says eat more. So at the very top, this is what we like. At the very top, we have the sweets, we have the salty snacks, we have the sweetened drinks like Pepsi and 7-Up and so on and so forth. And then we have the oils and fats and nuts, and then we have the milk, dairy products, meat, fish, and eggs. Then we have the whole grain products, and then of course maybe one of the healthiest things we can eat. Everyone knows this is of course fruits and vegetables. And the number one thing we need obviously is water. Here, when it says beverages, we're talking about mainly water. Guys, think about this for a second. How long can the human body live without food versus how long can the human body live without water? What do you think? How long can we live without food?
A month maybe.
Exactly. Yeah, Mishari. Yeah, a month. What about water, Mishari? How long can we live without water?
Maybe 4 days or 5.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes, that's so true. According to the scientists who did experiments, they say humans can live up to a month. Imagine, subhanAllah, you can live up to a month without food. But for water, subhanAllah, for water, only 3-4 days maximum. Everything is made of water. Right? Even the Holy Quran, it says that, right? Everything is made from water. Right? Life is made from water. That's why even scientists today, when they try to look for evidence of life on like other planets, they try to find water. If water exists, most likely there is life there. There is life on that planet. Subhanallah. Right? And by the way, in Ramadan, think of Ramadan. In Ramadan, sometimes the food does not bother you. The lack of food does not bother you. What bothers you the most is actually you're thirsty. You just want to drink water. Subhanallah. So water is very important. You have to stay hydrated, guys. Try to drink water as much as you can. Your body is made of water. Your brain needs water. Your muscles need water. Subhanallah. So try to drink water as much as you can. If you don't drink enough water, it could affect you negatively in the future. Right? Guys, why is fast food referred to as junk food? Think about this for a second. You know, things like burgers, pizza, donuts, cakes, ice cream, milkshakes, they're all referred to, this is all fast food. And fast food in English is referred to as junk food. Why do we call fast food junk food?
Because it's synthetically modified and made.
Yeah.
Organic.
Exactly. It's not good for us. It's synthetically modified. It's made using artificial means. It's not good for us. It's full of chemicals. It's full of preservatives. Guys, the word junk, any garbage. Can you guys imagine this word in Arabic? Imagine you go to the restaurant. Can I have one zibala, please? I'll have the family zibala. Yes, I want to feed my kids. You're eating junk. It's garbage. Junk is zibala, basically. You understand? It's garbage. Yet we eat it and we enjoy it. Can I have one more zibala, please? Yes, I'd like to have one more zibala. Yes, for my. I want to stuff it in my face. Oh my God, we're eating garbage. We know it's garbage, yet we enjoy it. And we enjoy it. That's crazy. Guys, think of this for a second. Imagine, almost 100 years ago, almost 100 years ago, the average chicken, yes, lived for 112 days. And when we killed the chicken weighed approximately 1.2 kilograms, okay? So imagine, almost 100 years ago, before a chicken was killed for food, it lived for 112 days. And when we killed the chicken was approximately 1.2 kilograms in weight. Okay? Now think of today. Do you think this is the case today?
No.
No, of course.
Not.
Exactly. How long do you think they live, Mshari? How long do chickens live today? Do you think they live 112 days? Do you think they live more or less?
Less.
Exactly. And when we kill the chickens, Mshari, do you think they weigh more or do you think they weigh less?
They weigh less, I think, because fat. They smell a lot.
They smell a lot, okay. So yeah, Mishari was right about one thing. He was right about the duration. Chickens don't live 112 days, they live actually less. But the surprising thing I'll show you over here is this. So today, taban, chickens, they don't live for 112 days because taban, businesses, they can't wait 112 days. Imagine if you want to have like a chicken burger. Come back in 112 days, Habib. I have to wait until the chicken, until I have to wait until it's big and plump, and I have to wait until it's 112 days, and then I will kill it. Of course, companies, they don't have that kind of time. As a business, and I sell chicken burgers, I want my chickens to come quickly. I want to kill as many chickens as possible to supply the demand that I have. So chickens back in the old days, they lived 112 days, but today they only live for 47 days, which is like a month and a half before they actually kill it. But there's something very surprising about today's chickens. When they kill today's chickens, they weigh 2.6 kilograms. How is this possible, guys? Think about it. How are chickens dying? How are they living for like less days compared to their ancestors? Yet they are weighing so much more. They're weighing more than double their ancestors. What's happening here, guys? Anyone know, Fatma? Anyone? Do you know?
Maybe they give them hormone.
Yeah, maybe they. Yeah, okay, good point, Fatma. Yes, good point. Mishal, what do you think? Do you agree with Fatma?
Yeah, the companies feed them some growth or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, these chickens, these animals are actually given hormones. They're given growth hormones. Imagine, why should I wait for a chicken Why should I wait 112 days for one chicken? Okay, instead of waiting that long, I can get a chicken, kill it earlier, and give it hormones to make it weigh more than its ancestors. Imagine, it's crazy. So now, by the way, imagine a chicken costs 20 kd, for example, right? With 20 kd, I can feed 3 people. Now, with today's chickens, 20 kd, I can feed 6 people. So I'm still paying the same amount of money, but I can actually feed more people with one chicken today because I'm giving it growth hormones. It's crazy. And of course, what happens when you eat the chicken is that the growth hormones that we gave to the chicken go to you. All the chemicals, all the medicines, all the hormones we gave to the chicken, when you eat the chicken, for example, it will go into your system. It will go into your body. That's why we have to be very careful, guys. We have to be very careful with what we're eating. We have to be more aware. Right? And again, as I said before, eat for a healthy mind and not just a healthy body. Studies have shown that if you eat healthy, it will not only affect you physically, guys, it will also affect you mentally. Yes, mentally. We talked a bit about veganism. If you remember, someone talked about veganism in the class today. And guys, please be honest. Would anyone ever go vegan? Would anyone ever try being a vegan for like a week or something? Anyone?
No, sir, I didn't. But I have, I want to know something. Like, if you said the chicken, they give it hormones. So even if we go to a vegan, they give it chemical stuff. So is it same thing or?
I think if you have to compare what they give, let's say the animals, I think they're worse than what happens to the plants. Like maybe the plants, you might have pesticides, you might have certain chemicals which are sprayed on on plants. But again, you have to make a decision. Do you want to have, what kind of chemicals do you want to have in your body? Do you want to have growth hormones from the meat, or do you want to have pesticides or chemicals that are sprayed on the plants? It's really up to you. But again, that's why I tell you, we're living in a day and age where our food isn't really that healthy. We have to be more cautious. And by the way, some people go vegan because of like animal cruelty. If you've seen videos of how they slaughter the cows or the chickens, it's very gruesome, صراحة. I showed a video to my wife the other day. She's like, Muhammad, I don't want to eat meat anymore. So sometimes when you see how they cook food or how they prepare food and how they kill the animals, صراحة, it's a bit gruesome. You know, I wouldn't kill a cow. Like, imagine if I go to a restaurant and they give me a knife and they tell me, you want meat? Yalla, kill the cow. To be honest, I wouldn't be able to kill the cow. I'll just say, you know what, just give me the salad. Khalas, give me the salad, I'll be okay with the salad. So again, if you think of veganism, I mean, some people who are vegan, they swear, they tell you, wallah, you know, being vegan is very, I feel like I have better energy, I feel like my skin and hair has improved. If you want, Michelle, or I think it was Mishari, sorry, Mishari, try it. Go ahead. For your presentation, for your 1 week or 7 day challenge, maybe go vegan. Is it possible to be a vegan in Kuwait for 1 week? Right, Suleiman?
You're asking me, doctor?
Yeah, Mishari, can you go vegan for like 1 week?
I can go vegan because of one thing to detox.
Detox. Yeah.
Only for a day or two. That's it.
Try it for a week, Mishari. You might hate me and you might hate your life, but try it. You might feel better about yourself.
I don't think so, my genetics will welcome vegan because I'm Mutairian from the desert and stuff.
I see. His family will not approve. His genetics will not improve. Will not approve of the new lifestyle. Yeah, but again, think of your presentation. Remember, it's a 7 day challenge. So maybe you want to challenge yourself. Maybe you want to do something which is a bit challenging. And again, going vegan in Kuwait is not easy. So you might want to try that, for example.
I will give it a try, and I hope I'm not in a wheelchair after.
Even if you are in a wheelchair, I'll push the wheelchair for you. Don't worry, okay?
Yeah, man. Awesome.
You're welcome. Suleiman, I think you had your hand up. Suleiman, go ahead.
Yes, about the people against animal cruelty. I saw a video yesterday on YouTube. Sometimes they take it too far, to be honest. Like, I'm against slaughtering animal and like big plants and like just killing them and like with machines and stuff, like in humane ways. I'm against this, but I've seen like these people. Just like I said, I saw a video yesterday. there was a guy. He was like in the mall harassing people, telling them like the fish can feel, so you shouldn't fish the fish. Like you can't use like a fishing pole to catch the fish because it feels pain when you catch it.
Yeah.
So you can't eat fish and and I thought that was crazy, to be honest.
Yeah.
They take it too far sometimes.
True. Yeah, I agree with you, Suleiman. Yeah, I mean these extremist vegan people who harass people on the streets, or they go to a restaurant and they harass people. Yeah, that's a bit too much. I mean that's very disrespectful. I think if you have a point, you can make it. You can get your point across, being respectful towards other people. But going up to a restaurant, going to like a a steakhouse, and harassing people there, and telling them, why are you eating the steak over here? I mean that's like it's intershaku, like in Arabic, intershaku. Why are you here, Habibi? You have a point to make a point, but don't come harass me while I'm sitting in a restaurant. So yeah, I agree with you. But again, that's why, like Islamically speaking, if you think about it, that's why, again, when it comes to slaughtering an animal, the knife has to be sharp. And we have a certain procedure. In Islam, before you slaughter an animal, we have a certain procedure. Before you kill an animal for food, the knife, for example, has to be sharp, because you don't want the animal to suffer, for example, right? You want to cut through a certain artery. You want to do it swiftly and quickly, again, so that the animal does not feel any pain. So again, I think there has to be rules. Thankfully in Islam we do have rules when it comes to killing an animal for food. So yeah, but again, vegans taban will not understand. A vegan will never understand how we can kill an animal for food, even though God says in the Holy Quran that He has created these animals for our benefit. But taban, this doesn't mean that you go and abuse the animals. You understand? So again, an animal should not suffer, because an animal is still a soul. An animal is still a creation from God. So we don't go around harassing animals and killing them just for fun, because wallah, God made them for us. God made them for us for survival, to maybe take the wool off their backs, maybe for food, for meat for food, and so on. But again, even if we do kill the animals, it has to be in a humane way, in a way where, for example, we don't make the animals suffer unnecessarily, right? By the way, imagine what percentage. Sorry, yes.
What about the fish then, Mr. Valan? They made the big deal about the fish. It's everywhere on Twitter and everywhere trending. It's like the fish feeling pain, so we shouldn't kill the fish. That's another dilemma now.
Yeah, it is a dilemma. But there's also people who say that, Suleiman, if you want, tell them that studies have also shown that plants have feelings. Imagine, so if plants have feelings, what are the vegans going to eat? So if a vegan approaches you, Suleiman, in the restaurant and says, haram, or you're eating the fish, and you're eating an animal, and these guys have feelings, then show them that we have studies that show that plants actually have feelings. So if you remove leaves from a tree, if you remove plants from the soil, you're also making them suffer. So now what do we eat? Should we eat the wall? Should we eat the ceiling? Should I eat bricks? I don't know what's left. What else can I eat? So there has to be we have to come to a certain consensus. We have to understand that yes, maybe plants do have feelings as well, but again, within limits. We should eat what we need without being excessive, without causing extra harm. If we're going to kill an animal for food, then don't make it suffer. Just make it quick, make it swift, so that the animal does not suffer. Again, but there are places which are like non-Muslim countries where, yes, as you said, as Sulaiman said, you find huge factories of just machines shocking the animals to death. I saw a video of a place where they shock the animal. They have like a stick, and they shove the stick in the animal's head, and it gives the animal like an electric shock. It's supposed to paralyze them, but it doesn't always work. So the animal suffers a lot before it actually dies, which is not the way we do it. But imagine, guys, veganism. Yes, we talked about this before. Imagine, what is the percentage of people who leave veganism? Anyone have any idea? So there are a lot of people who become vegans, but a lot of them actually go back to being, regular meat eaters. Anyone know the percentage?
Maybe 80%, 85%.
Yeah, you're right. Look at this, guys. What percent of vegans quit? Look what it says over here. 84% of vegetarians and vegans return to eating meat. Oh my goodness. Crazy. Can you believe it? So they had a study done in the States, and they found that approximately 84% of vegans go back to eating meat. Why? Because you cannot compete with a good shawarma. Let's be honest. You cannot compete with a good shawarma, yeah? Sugar addiction should be treated as a form of drug abuse. Imagine, there are nutritionists who say that you know how for example we have cocaine and heroin and so on and so forth, right? Some people some nutritionists are saying that we should treat people who are addicted to sugar just as we treat other drug dealers, or just as we treat other drug abusers, for example. You know, we have a saying in Arabic. I remember my mom once told me when I was younger. She's like, "Ahzar al-abyadain." And because I was so smart, I said, "Mama, heroin and cocaine." And of course, I got a few slaps. But "Ahzar al-abyadain" in Arabic, or beware of the two whites, my mom was obviously referring to salt and sugar. And those two in excess are not good for you. If you eat too much sugar or too much salt, it is not good for your body. And that's why junk food is not good for us, because junk food is full of salt and full of sugar. Pepsi is full of sugar, you understand? French fries full of salt, right? So imagine, just as people are addicted to certain drugs, some people studying nutrition are saying that if you're addicted to sugar, we should treat you the same as if some other person is addicted to cocaine, heroin, and so on and so forth, right? It should be treated as a form of drug abuse, because let's be honest, sugar is a very, very addictive, especially for children. If you give a kid candy, he wants more candy. Give them a piece of chocolate, they want more chocolate, right? It's crazy. Look at this picture, guys. Mother and daughter. Can you tell me who's the mother, who's the daughter? Any idea?
Maybe the right one.
Pink one.
The pink one is the mother or the daughter? Which one?
A mother.
The mother. How did you know Fatma?
Madri, she's big.
What is the message behind this picture, guys? What is the message we're trying to give people in this picture?
I think don't be smarter from your how do I say it? Bia. How do you say bia, doctor?
How do you say what? Sorry.
Bia.
Oh, bia. The environment. You mean the environment?
Yeah, always learn from the environment and don't do the same habits.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Exactly. Or maybe we could be teaching people that be careful again. If you're a parent, or if you're like an older sibling, if you have younger siblings, be a good role model, because your kids will follow in your footsteps. Imagine you're eating burgers and pizza, and you tell your kids, "Habibi, eat your carrots and broccoli." But Baba, Mama, you're eating burgers and pizza. They look good. Yeah, Habibi, yes, I'm an adult. I'm big. You're small. Eat carrots and broccoli. It's not going to work, right? Yes, Michelle, go ahead.
I think another message is when you eat a lot and grow fat, you grown up maybe 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, if you leave, very good. If you lead an unhealthy lifestyle, as Michelle said, you will look older. You will feel older. And imagine these two people over here. One of them is the mother. One of them is the daughter. Who's who? I don't know. It's like copy paste. I don't know who's who, because they look exactly the same. The mother looks like the daughter, and the daughter looks like the mother. So if you eat unhealthy, you will feel unhealthy. You will start to be lazy. You won't go out anymore. For example, you won't walk. You won't exercise. And instead of feeling like you're 25 years old or 20 or 26 years old, now you feel like you're 40 years old. You can't move. Every time you move, you're like, "Halas, I'm tired. I can't go." You understand? It's not good for your body. Someone told me, "Sir, these two are going to find the father." Where's the father or the husband? Look, you see him? He's on the top left. You see, there's the father. Oh my God, the mother, the daughter, and the father, they're all the same. The way you eat as a parent is going to affect the way your children eat. You understand? And for example, my father he never smoked. So alhamdulillah, I never ended up smoking. You understand? If you smoke as a parent, you're teaching your children that smoking is okay. Actually, studies have been done that if you do something as a parent, your kids have a 50% chance of doing the same thing, and there is a 50% more likely chance of them doing it. And if you smoke, your kids have a higher chance of smoking. Even if you get a divorce, let's say you get a divorce, your kids have a higher chance of getting a divorce. If you have certain eating habits, your kids are most likely going to follow in the same eating habits. Okay, I'm just going to quickly go through the rest of the slides because time is almost up. 4 of the 10 fattest countries in the world are in the Middle East. Guys, imagine, out of the top 10 fattest countries in the world, 4 of them are in the Middle East. I had one boy tell me, "Sir, I think Kuwait's number 1, Allahu Akbar." I'm like, "Habibi, we shouldn't be happy. We shouldn't be happy that Kuwait is number 1 or number 2. We should be angry. Why are we like this? Why do we have so many fast food places in Kuwait? You understand, guys? We should be healthier. We should learn to lead a healthier lifestyle, guys. This is not acceptable, honestly, right? And if you think about this, do we have more health problems today than before? Do you think we have more health problems today, or did we have more before? What do you think?
Today.
Yeah, exactly.
A major problem.
Exactly. Today we have major health problems today. We have obese children. Bismillah. How are children fat? How are children becoming obese? How is this happening? We have more cases of diabetes. We have more cases of high blood pressure. We have more cases of cancer. Everyone knows someone who has cancer, or like a family, or someone in a family who has cancer, because we're eating processed foods, we're eating sugar, we're eating salt, we're not eating healthy, we're not actually exercising. Is taste relative? Yani, do you think different cultures have different tastes? Of course. Different cultures, different countries find different things, either yummy or disgusting, right? Why do some people eat strange things? I think, one of your friends told us today about sardines, right? So someone talked about eating a strange thing, it was a sardine. Why do people eat strange things? Well, for you it might be strange, for them it could be part of their culture. What is strange to us might be normal for them. And also sometimes people like to try, they like to try strange things because, they are adventurous, right? Or healthy, exactly, yeah, good point, Mishari, exactly, or healthy. What's the strangest thing you've ever eaten? Think about that, guys. Maybe next time I see you, we can have a discussion about this, like the strangest thing you've ever eaten in your life. But again, if you go to places like, if you go to Thailand, if you go to China, in China they have a rule. If it moves, we will try it. So if you ever go to China and you move around, please be careful. They might try you just to see, what is this new creature? You understand? So in China, they eat things like, they eat bats, scorpions, mice, seahorses, spiders, bugs, cockroaches, starfish, rats, mice, you name it, they eat it. And again, for us it might be strange, but for them it's part of their culture. Even in Kuwait, if you guys remember, back in the old days, people used to eat jarad. It's like a cricket, it's like a type of cricket or grasshopper that people used to try. If you go to McDonald's, you're not going to find a McJarad burger anytime soon, because it's not part of the culture anymore. But again, back in the old days in Kuwait, people used to try jarad, which is like a grasshopper, right? But again, if you go to certain parts in Asia, you will find just these things being sold on the street, a street food, yes? And I'm sure you all have a friend like this. You go to a restaurant with your friend, and your friend says, I'll have a double cheeseburger and a Diet Coke. I'm counting my calories. Every time, I have a friend of mine, every time we go to a restaurant, he orders, he's like, I'll have the triple cheeseburger, I'll have the ice cream, and I'll have a Diet Coke because I'm trying to watch my calories. And the waiter, taban, usually the guy working there, he goes crazy. He's like, sir, you ordered half a cow. Are you sure you want the Diet Coke? It's not going to make a difference. You understand? So yeah, everyone has a friend like that. Let me just recommend, before I end the class, let me just recommend a few things for you guys. There's a beautiful book called The Year of No Sugar. This is a true story about an American family that tries to go 1 year without eating sugar. Is it possible today to live your life without any sugar? Is this possible? Yes or no? And actually, guys, if you know Ahmed, do you guys know Ahmed al-Shugheri? He's a famous Saudi TV personality. Yeah, he's the guy behind Khawatir. If you guys remember Khawatir, yeah. So
perfect program.
Exactly, it's a perfect program. I love Khawatir. I love Ahmed al-Shugheri. MashaAllah, he's really like he opens up our minds to like different things. But anyway, Ahmed al-Shugheri went to the USA to interview this family, to interview the family that wrote this book, The Year of No Sugar. And guys, think of your first presentation. Maybe you want to go 1 week without sugar. Is it possible for you to live 1 week in Kuwait without consuming any sugar? Try it. If you want, try it. It might be interesting as an experiment, and you might actually feel better about yourself. The Year of No Sugar. So this is a true story about a family that tried to live 1 year without sugar. There's also a little documentary I want you guys to watch. It's called Super Size Me. This is also by an American. It's a true story about a guy who decides to eat McDonald's every single day for 1 month. What would happen if you had McDonald's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day for 1 month? Would you live? Would you die? La samahallah? Would you have certain diseases? I don't want to tell you what happens at the end of the movie, but again, or this documentary. But if you get your hands on it, if you can find it on Netflix or online, please give it a try and see what will happen to your body if you have junk food every single day. There's also this book you can find in Jarir, by the way. It's called Eat This Not That. It's a very interesting book that basically tells you what to eat and what to avoid, right? Because if you go to restaurants, guys, not everything on the menu is exactly the same. There are certain things on the menu which are healthier than other items. So this book tells you which items to eat and which items to avoid. Okay, guys? If you download my notes from my blog or from my little website, I will give you words, phrases, and quotes. You can use these to help you speak better on the final exam. Remember, on the final exam, guys, we will ask you to talk about these units. We will ask you to talk about first impressions, which was Unit 1. We will ask you to talk about health and nutrition, which was today's unit. Why do we have more health problems today? What is processed foods? What are GMOs? Why are chickens fatter, for example? How can we live a healthy lifestyle? What is it good to go vegan, for example? Is it better to be a vegetarian? Is it better to go on a keto diet? All these things. Make sure that you guys are aware of what these things are. Make sure that you guys understand how to talk about health, taste, nutrition, and so on and so forth. And you guys should be good, inshallah, for the final exam. I also have a few videos you guys can watch. Some short videos on YouTube. You can watch 4 or 5 minutes long. The dangers of sugar. How they make chicken nuggets. If you don't know how they make chicken nuggets, watch this video. It's going to disgust you, to be honest. If you've ever seen videos of how they make hot dogs or salami or mortadella or nuggets, it will disgust you, and trust me, you will never eat it again. Again, these videos are there just to give you more knowledge. Okay, guys? And your homework, inshallah, for next time is to please prepare for the very first presentation. Remember, your first presentation is the 7-day challenge. It's the 1-week challenge. I want you to try to do something for the next 7 days. Okay, so for the next 7 days, for the next week, try to do something. Maybe try exercising for the next 7 days. Maybe try finishing a book in the next 7 days. Maybe try going vegan. Maybe cut out sugar for the next 7 days. Maybe fast. Whatever you want to do. Maybe you want to paint. Maybe you want to go, I don't know. Think of something you've always wanted to do and do it for the next 7 days. Maybe if you have a bad habit, you want to try to stop it. If you smoke or you have a bad habit or you sleep late, maybe you want to fix that. Okay? We all have an addiction. We're all addicted to something. Some of you are like addicted to gaming. Maybe no gaming. Maybe no TV. Maybe no social media for the next 7 days. Think of what you want to do, guys. Prepare your ideas, and then when you come to class, as I said, you will talk about 3 things. You will talk about what you did, how you felt, and what did you learn from this entire experience. Okay, guys? Any questions, guys? Any questions? Any problems?